Former Irish Rugby Football Union refereeing chief Owen Doyle has launched a scathing critique of a controversial decision that overshadowed a dramatic European clash, claiming that the Ospreys were effectively robbed of a famous victory against Ulster. The incident, which occurred in the closing stages of a tense EPCR Challenge Cup fixture, has reignited debate around the use of the television match official, TMO, and the interpretation of forward passes in modern rugby. A dramatic finish turned controversial with the clock ticking down and the Ospreys trailing 28-24, the Welsh side mounted a desperate late attack in search of a match-winning try. The stakes could not have been higher, a place in the Challenge Cup quarter-finals hung in the balance. In those final moments, it appeared that the Ospreys had completed a remarkable comeback. Their scrum half crossed the line after a fluid attacking move, sparking celebrations among players and supporters alike. On-field referee Anthony Woodthorpe initially awarded the try, seemingly confirming a famous victory. However, the drama was far from over. Before the conversion could be taken, TMO David Rose intervened, flagging a potential infringement in the build-up, specifically, a suspected forward pass from centre Owen Watkin. What followed was a lengthy review that would ultimately change the outcome of the match. Despite replays appearing to show Watkin's hands moving backwards, a key indicator often used to judge the legality of a pass, the officials concluded that the ball had travelled forward. The try was disallowed, and with it went the Ospreys' hopes of progression. Ulster held on to their narrow lead and advanced to the next round, while the Ospreys were left to reflect on what might have been. Doyle's strong reaction. For Doyle, the decision was not just questionable, it was, in his view, one of the worst of the season. Writing in his column, the experienced former Test referee did not hold back in his assessment. This writer's firm view is that it is a leading contender for the poorest decision of the season award. Doyle stated he argued that the intervention by the TMO was unjustified and directly contradicted established protocols governing the use of video review technology. Between them, the referee and his TMO pulled the rug from under the Ospreys, Doyle wrote. They denied them a famous victory. At the heart of Doyle's criticism is the principle that TMOs should only intervene when there is a clear and obvious error, a guideline designed to preserve the authority of the on-field referee and prevent unnecessary disruptions. In this case, Doyle believes that threshold was not met. It is essential that TMOs stick to the protocols, he explained. They should only advise on issues that are clear and obvious. This certainly did not meet that requirement. There was no justification for the TMO to get involved. A breakdown in decision-making. Doyle also questioned the decision-making process that followed the TMO's intervention. In his view, once the TMO raised the concern, it was incumbent upon Woodthorpe to make an independent judgment, and, if necessary, overrule his colleague. Instead, the referee accepted the TMO's recommendation, a move that left Doyle and many others perplexed. So, the next step for the referee was to overrule his colleague, right? Doyle asked rhetorically. Not this time. I was not alone in being flummoxed when the referee agreed with his off-pitch official, and that was that. This moment, according to Doyle, highlights a growing issue within the game, an increasing reliance on the TMO at the expense of on-field authority. The forward pass debate. Central to the controversy is the interpretation of forward passes, one of the most debated aspects of rugby officiating. Unlike many other sports, rugby does not judge passes solely on the direction the ball travels relative to the ground. Instead, officials must consider the movement of the player's hands at the moment of release, as well as momentum. In this instance, many observers felt that Watkin's pass was legal, pointing to the apparent backward motion of his hands. Doyle warned that decisions like this risk setting a dangerous precedent, a complete misread of the situation and a blot on the competition, he said. If this becomes the standard for judging forward passes, we're going to see an awful lot of tries ruled out. Such an outcome, he suggested, would not only frustrate players and fans but also undermine the attacking nature of the game. No question of bias, but concerns remain. While Doyle was highly critical of the officials' performance, he was careful to dismiss any suggestion of bias. It's important to say there can be no suggestion of a hometown decision, he noted. Nobody should entertain that. However, he made it clear that concerns about competence remain. My goodness, there are questions that surely arise, he added. This distinction is significant. By ruling out bias, Doyle focuses the conversation squarely on the quality of officiating and the effectiveness of current systems. The role of the TMO under scrutiny. The incident has once again brought the role of the TMO into the spotlight. Originally introduced to assist referees with clear errors, the system has evolved into a central component of modern officiating. While it has undoubtedly improved accuracy in many cases, it has also sparked ongoing debate about its impact on the flow and spirit of the game. Doyle is among those who believe the balance has shifted too far. There is a significant danger of referees becoming dependent on the TMO, he warned. I would suggest that some already have. This dependency, he argues, risks eroding the confidence and authority of referees, who may become hesitant to make decisive calls without external validation. If referees are afraid to make mistakes, then they should not be there, Doyle said bluntly. Calls for reform. Doyle's comments come at a time when World Rugby is reviewing TMO protocols, a process he believes is both necessary and overdue. What we are seeing, on an all too frequent basis, is far too much TMO involvement, he said. The review cannot come soon enough. One of his primary concerns is that officials are stretching the protocols beyond their intended scope. The TMO should not become the equivalent of a second referee, Doyle argued. That was never the intention. Instead, he advocates for a return to the original principles: limited intervention, clear thresholds, and respect for the on-field referee's authority. Impact on the teams. For the Ospreys, the decision was a bitter blow. A victory over Ulster would have been one of the highlights of their season, a statement win that could have provided momentum and confidence heading into the latter stages of the campaign. Instead, they were left to exit the competition under a cloud of controversy. For Ulster, meanwhile, progression to the quarter-finals was secured, but not without questions surrounding the manner of their victory. While the players can hardly be blamed for the decision, the incident inevitably cast a shadow over the result. A wider issue in modern rugby beyond this single match, the controversy speaks to a broader challenge facing rugby union. As the game continues to evolve, so too does the role of technology. Striking the right balance between accuracy and flow remains an ongoing struggle. Too little intervention, and clear errors may go uncorrected. Too much, and the game risks becoming over-officiated, with momentum disrupted and outcomes influenced by marginal calls. Doyle's critique reflects the concerns of many within the rugby community who feel that the pendulum has swung too far toward intervention. Conclusion: a moment that demands reflection. In the end, the disallowed try will be remembered as one of the defining moments of the match, and perhaps of the season. For Doyle, it serves as a stark reminder of the importance of clarity, consistency, and restraint in officiating. This was a complete misread of the situation, he concluded. And it raises serious questions. As World Rugby continues its review of TMO protocols, incidents like this will undoubtedly shape the conversation. For the Ospreys, the hope will be that lessons are learned and that future matches are decided by the players on the field, rather than contentious decisions off it. For the sport as a whole, the challenge remains clear: to ensure that technology enhances the game without overshadowing it. Because in moments like these, the difference between victory and defeat should be determined by skill, execution, and courage, not controversy.